Welcome to another windy episode of Rod Goes Vlog, where right now I am outside in what is a cloudy and, as you can see with my hair, rather windy day here in London, UK. Today is the 31st of August, and I just witnessed a crash between a bicycle and a motorcycle. I actually didn't really see the actual impact. It was so where I was walking after collecting a package from a parcel, you will say here, a parcel from a store. So I was walking back, I wanted to find a place where I can record. And I was also looking at if there is some Too Good To Go available. This is a service where you can collect food and any type of edibles that are not really more, I will not say like fresh, but let's say that need to be sold by that day and nobody will buy them. So they are basically leftovers, that would be the word. So these are leftovers and you can buy them at a discount. So I was with my phone playing and saying, hey, can I find something? Is there maybe some edible that I can go and collect in Too Good To Go? When I hear this crash, and I hear people yelling and so on, I have some footage from that. I have footage from the sound, I have footage from people there arguing. It was a rather like hipster, yuppie looking guy in his bicycle who crashed against a delivery guy in his motorcycle. They were blaming each other. It was unclear who did what and so on. In the end, both stood up, collected their things. Luckily, it seemed nobody was hurt. The guy in the bicycle was only wearing flip-flops and shorts, so you would have expected he would be badly hurt, but no, he looked perfectly fine, not even a scratch. And then both went their ways.
I just heard like noise, and then when I heard the noise,
hey,
I
did
just
you
flipped over
see
and
what
then
happened? Did you
I
record
looked
it?
so I
said,
couldn't
no,
really see
I
the
was
crash.
just walking, but when I heard the noise, and then I flipped around, and then
You too.
that's when I started recording. So I missed that. I missed the actual impact. Here in London, it's always something where every day something happens. And this brings me to the topic of the day, which is this idea of security. If things change or it is only our perception, where I constantly tell to people, London is not a safe town. London is actually a dangerous place. You also have to be watchful. You also have to be paying attention. You cannot be just minding your own business and nothing will happen. When I have posted this type of messages on places like Reddit, I have gotten quite a backlash and pushback. People say, no, you have to accept this is a big city, this is normal, so this is what happens in big towns and so on. And I disagree because, I live in Moscow, which is larger than London. I also live in Singapore, which is smaller than London, but it's also a very large city, and other places are large. And I must say, London is the only place where I feel, hey, here you have to be careful because something can happen. You cannot just be wandering around completely clueless. And this connects with my other idea, which is what is happening right now in Germany, where I feel that Germany is going through some sort of Americanization of the conditions in life. Meaning, historically, the country was very supportive. It was always a very safe place. It was always a place where, so it was pretty much like the best that Europe had to offer in terms of socialism, democracy, economic stability, and so on. But now it's changing rapidly. I call it peak Deutschland, peak Germany, where my theory here is that around the year 2017, things started to decay. That's where we reached the peak in the economic performance, in general in the feeling of how the country is doing, in people's happiness and so on and so forth. And since then, which now is almost like 7 years, it has been just going downwards. And this is accelerating. This weekend, there are elections in some German states, and likely the parties that will be the driving forces, that will be the major political forces after the election, are two that are considered extremists on the what is so-called far left and far right. Both share the idea that they are socially conservative, meaning we have too many migrants, there are too many foreigners, we have to do something with those who are criminal and get to stay in the country, but also we have to decide how many people we ID and so on. And on the economic part, they differ. One is a bit more on the state should be big, there should be more protection, but these protections can only exist, this support net can only be enforced if you know your neighbor, if you understand your neighbor, if you feel yourself identified with your neighbor. If your neighbor is someone who is a complete random, who you have never seen, who is completely alien to you, then it is unlikely that you will want to support this person to contribute to help this person. Whereas the other party is a little more on economic freedom, less bureaucracy, less taxes, less support in general. Nevertheless, both share this idea that things are bad in the country. This is not held by some high-profile incidents, not accidents, incidents, security incidents, where people have been stabbed in concerts, on the street, and so on. You can argue it's just isolated incidents. There is no real trend. It is just sensationalism. It's just the yellow press who is trying to report this excessively, even though historically it has not been the case. I can't really comment on that, on the statistics, if this is really the case. There are many things at play here. Maybe there are less reported incidents, but this is maybe because people are discouraged to report them. Maybe people don't feel anymore that it has any sense to report them and so on. You will never know. In any case, I can only share what is so-called perceived experience. And in my impression, Germany used to be much safer. It used to be a much calmer place than it is today. It was also a cleaner place. I see also a little bit of Londonification in major cities. Berlin was always very filthy and dirty. But let's say like Munich. Munich was always super clean, super tidy, no graffitis, everything looked impressive, so clean, so perfect. And last time I was there, 2022, I saw quite some graffiti on the streets. I saw garbage, I saw filth, and that surprised me. It surprised me, thinking, hey, something is changing here. So I can't really comment on is this really a major trend in terms of security? Is it becoming really much more dangerous to live in Germany, or is it just pure perception? I can only say, even if it is perception, people are noticing something and they react. They are not only voting with their feet. You see that the statistics of highly qualified Germans emigrating they are increasing. The numbers are increasing and it's accelerating. But also you see it on people voting and voting for parties that are considered fringe parties that probably they can offer an alternative. Or if not, then at least you can say, hey, we have not had them. Let us give them a try, let's give them an opportunity and see, because the current established parties, they don't do anything. On the opposite, many of their politics and policies, they just make this problem a larger issue. So this is what is happening right now in Germany. Also here in London, you can see things are changing. We had recently an election here, both a major election. We have here a new London, well, not new London mayor, it's the same guy, but there was an election. And also we had a general election in July with a new party that came to power. So things are changing here in Europe, in London. And at the same time, also, we see that some other things never change, such as being a windy and cloudy place today. How has been your Sunday, or weekend rather? Today is on Saturday. What are your plans for today? My plans are that I plan to work, I plan to code, I also want to do some exercise and maybe some cooking. What about you? What are your plans for today? Let me know. And, well, this is Robot Gloves Vlog. Subscribe, like, comment, share, so you know, the classics. See you next time.